The town of Searsport is gearing up for its biggest art walk to date. On July 1st from 2 through 6 p.m., several galleries from all over town will be partaking in the walk, some of which are debuting new exhibits. The art to be viewed ranges in both style and its inspiration. During the walk, those who participate can view the work of both Maine artists and international artists.
Well, I think this is a wonderful opportunity to show all of the cultural heritage of Searsport and to show the creative vision that people have and different perspectives of how they see the world.
Bringing art into other communities. It's a way for people to have an entry point into conversations that are broader and farther reaching than just the art itself that they might not otherwise have had.
Organizers are also encouraging visitors to stop into the many shops and restaurants Searsport has to offer.